Now, the real challenge with GenAI isn't the tech, but it's the transformation. And scaling GenAI means rethinking your data, your people, but also the way how we lead. And I'm very excited to have Brett Roscoe. He's the Senior Vice President and the General Manager of Cloud Data Governance and Operations at Informatica. And he will join us to dive deep into these critical topics. Welcome, Brett.
Thank you. Great to be here. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you. And yeah, let's dive into it. Why do Gen AI pilots often stall before they start scaling?
There's a massive amount of exuberance, excitement around Gen AI, right? The investment we've seen, we've done some CDO surveys over the past couple of years, and we see those investments continue to increase. In fact, 87% of CDOs said they're increasing their investments in 2025. That's after increasing in 24. But the race to the finish line, right, it has its challenges, right? So you're dealing with new technology that's, these AI models are as good as the data that trains them. So making sure you have high quality data, making sure your data is fit for purpose, that it's not erroneous, it's not biased. Those are the kinds of things that we're seeing our customers run into friction and really pushing those projects from, pilot to production.
So do they invest in the right or the wrong parts of the Gen AI? Is it about the data or the algorithms and the models?
Well, I think it's both, right? So they've got, the investment has to be holistic, right? What I've seen is, a good leader, CEOs today, they really have to rethink all of this. This is not just hey, I'm adding new technology to my existing processes and operations. This is, I'm changing the way I'm doing business. This is really more of a transformation than it is a technical addition, right? So you've got to drive a cultural change, you've got to drive a technical change, you've got to drive an operational change across your organization. And so what we're seeing is, the CDOs and CIOs who are having success are embracing that. They're looking to uplift their skill sets across the organization. They're looking to change the culture across the organization to make them embrace Gen AI. They're investing in data management. We found a parallel response in our survey that said about 86%, right? 87 said they're investing more in Gen AI, 86% said they're investing more in critical data management capabilities. And so Gen AI is one of those where if you didn't have a mature data management process, if you were kind of, very siloed or very ad hoc in your data management, that it really came to bite you. And now you've got to really accelerate in terms of getting a mature data management, get a governance capability to feed these AI and Gen AI projects.
And talking about data governance, in the past it was more like, hey, having a checkbox and doing your checks, but now it becomes more automation. Can you explain a little bit more about how to automate data governance and how this speed up the scaling?
Yeah, it's a great question. Because data governance is really born out of the idea of meeting regulatory compliance. That's kind of where it all started many years ago. But it's very much evolved from that. And what we've really seen, and in fact, data governance, I always say, is kind of a misnomer. It's data governance is really about data sharing. It's about data literacy and driving data across the organization. So in order to make sure that you can do that at scale, right, you got to make sure you automate, use AI-driven approaches in your data management practice that can auto-classify and trade definitions and organize your data and inventory and scan your environment, look for data that's specific and fit for purpose. And then push that data to the consumers across the organization, the lines of businesses, the different functions who want to do these AI projects. So if you can get to a place where you're running at scale, running a mature governance project or running mature data governance and running your AI projects, you can sleep better at night, right? Knowing that I'm using the latest and greatest data. The data is highly trusted, secure, and of high quality that's feeding those projects. I'm not going to get any kind of erroneous or miscellaneous outcome.
And you were talking about this immense increase in investments. On the other hand, if you do invest, you want to have your KPIs, you want to have your return. So what KPIs really matter most for Gen AI in production?
Well, every project is different depending on, what we've seen in the latest round in 2025 are people are doing more AI projects really around operational efficiency, new customer experiences. Those are, they've really kind of tailored into that space. They've realized that productivity increases from AI is really one of the key places to invest. And so what I've seen from the most successful, leaders in this space is they're going out and working with the business units, having the business units help them define the KPIs and metrics of success, right? So if you're going to improve a customer experience, what are the current KPIs around the customer experience and how can we measure that and see how the AI can impact that? So KPIs usually are not well done if they're done in a vacuum. They're much better if they're done across your organization, across functions.
Yeah, and you were talking about operational gains mainly. So where's this low-hanging fruit for operational gains, and how can you see this in your KPIs?
Well, we kind of tell people, look, the quick way to get to a better production is just kind of 4 steps. We think if you can go and discover, if you can go, find your data, understand it, catalog it, understand the metadata around it. If you can put controls around it, so you can basically identify personal information or sensitive information, put access controls. And if you can deliver that, improve the quality, deliver it out to the organization, and then the last one, observe. You can do those 4 steps, then we think that those aren't crazy hard steps, but those 4 steps can really accelerate your journey to generative AI outcomes, right? Because now you're feeding those generative AI outcomes with high quality, trusted, secure data. And then those KPIs, can obviously be something you're tying back to your observability. What data were you using to feed those? How can you improve that data? What kind of iterations can we make on the input as well as the outputs to make sure we're meeting our KPIs in the moment?
Thank you, Brett. I love the way how you explain the difference between data governance in the past and data governance now, but also, of course, the importance of quality of data to get your Gen AI right. Thank you. Thank you for all the insights, and thank you to our audience for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Yep. Thank you for having me.